Get started.
Are they talking?
Okay, let's see.
You guys heard him and everything fine, right? He's good.
Yep. He's good. Yep, he's good.
I'll switch him back over.
Just gotta see if it actually went live.
I got a notification that we're live.
Are they talking?
Okay. Yep, we're live. All right.
You guys heard him and everything fine, right? He's good.
See. All right. Looks like we're live. Okay. Everybody, welcome to the live stream with Mr. Fred Nungesser, the one and only. Fred, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
Nice. All right. So how this works for everyone watching, you can join this live stream by getting on Zoom. The link is pinned in the comment section of the live stream on YouTube. So you'll join the queue in Zoom. I'll let you in, and then you can ask Fred questions live. So while people are doing that, let's go ahead and start with a quick bio of Fred Nungesser, of who you're going to be talking to. So, Fred, I'm just going to read a little bio about you. I hope it's all true. All right?
Of course.
All right. So, Fred J. Nungesser Jr. of M Company, 334th Infantry Regiment, 84th Infantry Division. Fred was born on September 5th, 1925 in Union City, New Jersey. So, Fred, you're about to turn 100 in a few months. Woo!
Whoa, whoa.
8 months. That's wild. You got big plans for your 100th?
Of course.
Nice. All right, so Fred was drafted in the Army in July 1944 after he graduated from high school and was brought directly to Fort Dix, New Jersey. He attended basic training at Camp Wheeler in, is it Macon, Georgia? Is that how you say that?
No, Macon.
Macon, Georgia. Okay. Macon, Georgia. Fred deployed to Europe, arriving in Le Havre, France in early January 1945. From there, he was transported to Belgium, where he was assigned to M Company, 334th Regiment, 84th Infantry Division. Joined by his close friend, James F. Maloney, they would be assigned to different companies. Fred served as a heavy weapons machine gunner and operated a 30 caliber water-cooled machine gun. On February 25th, 1945, he participated in the fighting at the Roer River and crossed into Germany. It was during this battle that his close friend, James Maloney, was killed in action. The 84th Infantry Division continued its advance through Germany, ultimately reaching the Rhine River and then the Elbe River. Fred remained in the Army until he was discharged in 1947. Is all that correct, Fred?
Yes.
All right. Good. It's always scary because sometimes it's wrong. Like, well, where do we get that information? I don't know. Okay, so people are watching, people are here. Mike, you got anything to add to that?
So it's actually a pretty interesting story how Fred came to be a part of the Best Defense Foundation family. And I think that's a quick story that I'd like to relay with Fred, because that's how this stuff happens, right? There's these veterans, these World War II veterans are all over the country in our community. And it's because the hat that Fred is wearing right now that ultimately, got him connected with us. There's a gentleman that is actually friends with my wife's parents that happened to spot him shopping in a Home Depot in the summer of 2023. So I was actively in the process of trying to find some World War II veterans to come with us for the upcoming 80th anniversary in that next June. And this guy that I happen to know was shopping at Home Depot and noticed Fred shopping, looking for light bulbs, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, Fred? You were shopping for light bulbs?
Yes, for the kitchen.
Yep. And so this gentleman spots that World War II vet cap on and strikes up a conversation, and they exchange phone numbers. And this gentleman called me, said, "Hey, Mike, I just ran into this guy in Home Depot, and he lives in your neck of the woods. You may want to give him a shout." And that was in 2023 August. And so I reached out to Fred and his son, and you've been on 3 programs with us.
Oh,
So
yes.
that's how it all started. So you never know who you're going to meet in the community, and you never know, you can meet a World War II vet just shopping in Home Depot.
I'm always on the lookout. Where I live, you just don't see that many.
What, veterans or Home Depots?
We only have one Home Depot.
Yeah.
Well, where you guys live, it seems like there's a lot up in that area.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Would you guys just get back home on the boat and you're like, "Oh, I'll just stay here"?
Not
Like, yeah,
really.
home's like California's a long ways away. I'll just stay here.
Oh,
Yeah, I like it here.
oh, I
Cool.
stayed in Union City when I got out of the army.
Nice.
I live with my mother and father.
Nice. Well, cool. All right. Well, let's jump in. Let's get to it. We're gonna start bringing people in, and we'll go from there. So, if you are in the waiting room, we're gonna start bringing you in. So it's about a 10-second delay, so people on YouTube won't hear this for another 10 seconds. So we'll wait a couple seconds. But if you want to join, go ahead and click the Zoom link that is pinned in the chat section, and then you can join on the Zoom with us and ask Fred questions. So we're going to bring in Matthew right now. Let's hope this works. There we go.
Here we are. Yay.
What's up,
Sorry.
Matthew?
Sorry, I was just on the part where you were saying 10 seconds.
Figured.
Hey, Austin. Well, hey, Austin, long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Matthew, you are live with Mr. Fred Nungesser. The floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time, Fred. Well, lucky for me, I looked up the 84th and I have a bunch of questions right here, so it helps.
Oh, good.
All right. So you arrived in France. You arrived after the Battle of Bulge.
Right at the end.
All right. So what was it like being a replacement in the 84th after the Battle of Bulge? Because you hear stories of guys who join being a replacement, and it's either you get the guys who don't want to talk to you, or like, what was that like?
No, my guys I was with, they were pretty compatible. They talked to you, and they watched out for you to teach you what to look out for in combat and stuff. They got your back and you got their back.
Right.
Now, Fred, coming in as a replacement, like typically I don't know if this sounds dark or not, but as a replacement, you're going in because they lost somebody typically,
Yes.
and you have to go in and replace. So what did you feel like, I'm going to replace someone who died or was a casual or injured or whatever? Like, did that put a fear in you?
No. The only fear I had was being shot in the leg, so I couldn't dance anymore. That was the only thing bothered me.
I love it. I love that answer. All right.
Oh, man. Man. No, but you did fighting at the Roer River and the
Yes.
Rhine. So I wanted to ask about the. So could you describe the fighting at those rivers? I know more about the Rhine fighting, but what was the fighting at the Roer River like? I
Well,
also have. I don't know if I can. I'm gonna try see if I can share this. Hold on, give me a sec. Okay, I can't share it. I found an image of guys with a pontoon boat
right.
on history, warfare history net, and it's actually an image of the 84th Infantry with pontoon boats in going to well, not going across the river, but approaching the river. So, could you describe
Well,
fighting
yeah,
there?
we were there. We got there at 2:45 in the morning, and we laid there with our boats ready to go. But there was a 45-minute delay due to the fact that the Allies were throwing artillery and any shells that they had over to the German side of the river. And we had to wait 45 minutes till they got done with their bombardment. And then we got the okay to grab the boats and cross the river to the other side. And our objective was to go up to the railroad. There was a railroad on top of the hill a little bit, and we had to wait there, and then we got orders to move on from there. But we went through a field that we didn't know at the time that they placed things in the ground to stop us. But when they started to send their artillery over to us, some of it went into this field and blew parts of the things in the ground up. So that was kind of a godsend for us.
Oh, the shoe mines, the pellet mines. Yeah.
Yes. But some of the fellas, I guess, might have hit some of them because I remember them yelling for medics. And it was dark, so you couldn't really see anybody. But I heard them yelling, medic, medic, medic. So I figured they stepped on a mine or something. So we got up to the railroad tracks, and there was a white brick fence up there. And to the left of that was like a little shed. And when we got across the river, the Germans had opened up the dikes up above and flooded the river. We weren't used to that. We were practicing on a river that was calm. And what we did, they put guide wires down south of where we were in case you didn't make it across. The guide wire would stop the boat. However, being that they raised the river, the boats would be higher. And when they hit a guide wire, they would flip over. So you had to hustle to get across. Some of the fellas did hit the wire, and we got a couple of them out. Some of them you couldn't get out, they weren't near you, so they kind of drowned with all the equipment they had on themselves. But we got up to the hill there, and the Germans dropped in a couple of mortars. One of the mortars hit the fence, and it knocked the brick loose, and the brick hit me below my right knee. So I looked down to see if it would blow any blood or anything, but it wasn't. It just ripped my brand new pants, which kind of peed me off. Plus the fact I ripped it on a barbed wire over there too. Brand new pants. So, but I was okay.
Wow.
So from there we moved up towards the railroad station. And as we were going up there, we passed a big crater in the ground. And of course, nosy me, I want to see what's in there. I look over, and there were like 4 or 5 not detonated mortar shells. So we decided to get away from there in case they decided to blow up.
Yeah.
So we got up to the railroad station, and one of our sergeants kind of got what we call from World War I shell shocked. So they had to take care of him first because we couldn't take him with us. They had to get a medic to go with him. And I guess he took him to the back of the lines. So we waited there, and then we got up to Lineage. That was part of Lineage. And from there on in, it was like house to house, checking houses. If you found anybody, well, of course, you had combat with them. We one place we had to stop in the street. We were crossing a street, and we had to hold up because there were snipers up in the tower of one of the churches. So they had to get the riflemen to go up there and get them, which they did, because I was on the side of the street, and my sergeant said, "Wait, don't move yet. I'll tell you when to cross the street. So when time came, he says, okay, it's your turn. And we had to run like hell across the street to get away from the snipers. But it was just a constant from house to house combat. Of course, the Germans moved out when they saw us coming. But the one place I remember was a little farm there, and it had a bunch of cows. And all the cows, there must have been about 20 cows, all cuttering around. And the fellas, most of the fellas that were with my outfit were from the Midwest, farm boys. So they looked at the cows and they said, oh, we got to do something about this. The cows hadn't been milked in a couple of days and they start swelling up and then they get sick. So all these guys from the Midwest pitched in and we had fresh milk. In the meantime, a couple of the other guys went into the house and went down the cellar and they came back with fresh hams. So we had a pretty good feast that day. But I was in one of the houses and somebody was there, I guess, before me, and he was cooking eggs. And the fire was still on. And when we got there, the eggs were cooking and it was time for us to move. So I took the eggs and pan with me and went to the next house. And sure enough, there was fire going in there. So I finished cooking the eggs while I was there.
Oh man.
We had crazy things happen, you know.
That's one wild night, man.
Oh yeah, and it was just a constant go on our feet. We didn't have any jeeps or anything to take us, so we marched all the way up to the Rhine River.
Now, for me, just thinking about going in a river, crossing a river in the middle of the night alone in any normal situation sounds like a nightmare. Like for me, like going and doing that at all, a complete nightmare. Like, but you guys were doing this at like 3 a.m, like pitch.
Well, it was 2:45, so 45 minutes later, yeah, it was early in the morning. We were one of the first units to go over.
Yeah. What's going on, Matthew? You were putting your hands up.
I was also going to say, while also under heavy fire and also under artillery fire and also in a river that basically imagine a river getting flooded in a rainstorm, but in this case they opened up a dike, which I actually read about that when I was researching this. Basically to make it harder for guys to get across the river.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is why it was so important to capture bridges.
Yeah. Like,
yes.
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah, that's nuts. It's absolutely just terrifying.
On another note, this is something that we hear about a lot. What was the ferocity and the just the fanaticism of the German troops that you ran into? Because at this point, the war's pretty much over. They know they're probably going to lose, but you see movies of they are desperate. They have old men and children. Just what was their tenacity like, and what do you remember about that?
Well, I remember young kids, like 13, 14 years old, or old men over 65, trying to combat, but they couldn't. We picked up about 10 or 15 of them at one spot where they were dug in foxholes. And when they saw us, artillery started to send some artillery over, and they saw us and the artillery, and they just decided to leave the foxholes and came towards us, and we sent them back to get transportation with a couple of our soldiers to guard them. And when the artillery started, they hit the ground, and I just stood there and I said, well, I don't think I'm going to hit the ground because I know it's ours, you know. And to be a thing if they make you look like you're a coward or something, you know, and they could jump you. But we had no problem there. So we decided they just shipped them back with the rest of the prisoners. But there was times when we met old men, young kids. It was pathetic. That they, because I could see their point of view. That it's their homeland, and you know, and I guess they were fanatics more or less too with Hitler. They wanted to protect their homeland. I guess we would do the same here if somebody tried to come to the United States. I know I would.
Yeah.
You'd be on the front lines there, wouldn't you, Fred?
You got that right. Oh yeah.
So I also heard that you wound up at the Elbe River, where for people who don't know, the Elbe River was basically the meeting point between the allies of the West and the East. And I'm
Right.
wondering, did you actually get a chance to meet any of the Russian troops, or what was your interaction with them?
Oh yeah. Well, before they came, they were like a day or two before they came. We had the gun positions up on it. They have like a dike running around, so in case the river comes up, it doesn't flood the inland. So our gun positions are up there, and we were on guard duty 24/7. And I heard some noise up there one night, and I said to one of our fellows, I said, I hear stuff out there, and he said, there's nothing out there. I said, oh yeah, I can tell. He said, how can you tell? I says, I got a pair of binoculars, even though they're not night binoculars, I could see movement out there. He says, you gotta be kidding. I said, no. I said, does anybody here have a flare on their rifle? He says, yeah, it fell down the end. I said, tell him to send a flare up and see what happens. So he sent the flare up, and God, there must have been 30, 40 people out there. They all hit the ground. There were
Oh,
civilians and the Germans, there were everything. So we got them on our over the dike over with us, and held them there till some trucks came and gave them to the truckers to take back. But the next day started the influx of German people coming across on whatever they could do, uh, boats, swim, whatever. And we got some German prisoners. Of course, we had plenty of firearms there. We had a big pile of firearms taken over them. We had officers, regular guys, and then eventually we met the Russians. But they were very, I didn't see too much of them. Because we were more interested in getting the German people, soldiers and stuff.
To add to that, it's more like they were so afraid of the Russians
Yes.
because if you've
Oh,
actually
yeah.
for anyone who's younger, my age, we've played a game called Call of Duty World at War, and in that game you kind of see the ferocity of how very pissed off the Russians were and how brutal they were towards the Germans
Yes.
because of how brutal the Germans were to them.
Yes.
So the civilians would rather
Yeah.
surrender to you guys than they would the Russians.
Right.
Same with the
They
troops.
want to be with us. They knew what they were like. Uh, we had plenty of civilians, a lot of civilians.
wow.
All right. So, you were on a gun crew of the water cooled machine gun. So,
Yes.
well, so did you have to carry the gun, or were you the tri
No, no, I carried the ammo.
the ammo bearer?
We had
So you're
250 boxes, about 2 boxes each of 30 caliber ammo. It was like 50 rounds in each box.
How much did
And
that weigh?
how much does it weigh?
Yeah,
I don't know. I tell you the
nothing.
truth, I don't know. It never
Nothing.
bothered
I
me.
can't even imagine how heavy that is.
Oh yeah.
well, well,
When you do, when you're doing that stuff, you don't worry about how heavy they are.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole gun weighs like roughly around like 30 to 40 pounds, like the
Right.
whole gear and equipment. I mean, but the gun weighed a lot more. The tripod weighed a lot, and you had to,
Yeah.
and also you
Oh
had your
yeah.
condensing can, you had your water
Yep.
water
Yeah.
can. I mean, you had
Water.
to.
Yeah. And
Now,
then
was the
every so
water cooled?
often,
Was that a fairly new gun?
Water,
no, that's the old.
yeah,
The old is the
Oh, that's the
water
old
cooled.
style.
water cooled
New,
machine guns. Yeah, water cooled machine guns were developed by Hiram Maxim in the 1880s, and they were
Okay.
the mainstay weapon of World War I, and the 1917, which is the one he used, was used all the way up to Korean War and entered late in World War I. But it's actually the famous gun that you hear a lot of Medal of Honor guys who would you'd see the crazy ones like just hip firing that thing like just
it
like a
gets
John Batson one.
it's kind of tough to do that because they
Yeah,
get very hot
and also heavy.
and heavy.
But
Yeah,
the benefit of a water cooled is sustained fire. You can keep
yeah,
firing that thing longer than you can an air cooled 1919 A4.
yeah.
Okay.
The what was it going to say? Oh, oh, what happened? He
No, I'm here.
did something. Something happened here.
No,
The
you're with.
dog, the
No, you're
dog
fine.
disconnected something here.
Oh,
We
nothing
got.
happened on our end.
There's nothing on our end.
Okay, yeah. Are we
Yeah,
back?
it's
So,
fine.
yeah. So, what was it like setting up
Okay.
one of those in combat?
Well, number one, every so often too, you had to take them apart. They had a packing in the inside that had to be changed every once in a while, and you had to take the gun apart. But as far as carrying it, one guy would carry the gun, another guy would carry the tripod already open and ready to go. And all you have to do is flip it over his shoulder, and that would fall on the ground, and the guy with the gun itself would slap it right on there. And we were right behind all of them. And
Dang.
the, the only time it's rough is if we're going into a building or something. You can't take the tripod with you, so we just leave it outside on the ground.
Dang.
I'm wondering about did your division liberate or did you wind up seeing any of the camps that were the
There was we were one place, I don't even remember where it was, but they had ovens there, and it was a small camp. And of course, nosy me, I have to go and see what the ovens looked like, and I opened it up, and there were charred bones and stuff in there. So I guess that was one of them where they put them in the ovens, but I don't even remember where it was because we weren't there long. We got out of there.
And that was in Germany?
Yeah, yeah.
I'd imagine after that you guys well, you probably already weren't. You weren't really too kind to the SS guys when you ran into them.
Uh, I didn't. Well, let's say we didn't take any crap from them. You know.
Yeah. Oh man.
Man. No, they're just really glad I looked this all up before and I've got a chance to talk to you. I'm gonna give someone else a chance because I think I've been going for about 15 minutes.
Well, cool. Matthew, always good to see you. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
your passion in this history. I know that, I mean, I love that you even do research before these guys just to have the proper questions. I mean, that's
I rec
amazing.
I recommend that to anyone when you're interviewing someone who is part of historical events. Write down your questions beforehand so you don't look dumb.
All good. Well,
Also,
thank you,
also
Matthew.
might as well
And
show. I
next
also
up,
kind of want to show this cool
oh,
thing
go ahead.
here. This little World War II GI mini action figure I found.
Nice.
He's
Little
got a little
Fred.
carb. He's got a little carbine. Came with a little grease
Yeah.
gun.
Oh.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, cool,
Well,
Matthew. Good to see you.
It's
And
an honor to talk to you, Fred.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
all right, cool. Well, next we will bring in, looks like Brianda. I'm probably saying that wrong. Brianda? I hope. I don't know. Let's see. So we'll wait a few seconds here just so they're prepared. Got quite a bit going on in the chat over there. Let's see what we got. Yeah, you got a lot of people who want to come on and ask you questions. So let's bring in Brianda and see what we got. See if I got her name right. Or his name. I don't know. New name for me. Want to come on and ask you questions. So let's bring in Brianda. And... Oh,
Hi. Hi.
you're on. Go ahead and mute
Hi.
your YouTube video because I can hear the YouTube video. It's weird. I could hear myself talking when we let you in. Cool. All right. So who are we on here with?
Nova.
Nova?
And I'm Brianda.
Oh, okay. So I did say it right, Brianda. And what's your
Yes.
name?
Nova.
Oh, can you spell that? I don't know if I'm hearing that right.
Nova.
Nova.
N-O.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nova.
Nova.
And where are you guys?
Where are you guys from?
Netherlands.
Oh, you're in the Netherlands.
Oh,
Fred loves the Netherlands. He was
I
just
love
there.
the Netherlands.
One of Fred's favorite places.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
Oh, that's
Yep.
great. We love the veterans over here.
Yeah. Well, Nova and Brianda, you are on with Mr. Fred Nungesser. Go ahead and ask him whatever questions you would like.
We have 3 questions.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you can.
Oh. In our country, you have a hero status. How do people in your own country feel about World War II veterans?
Well, not
Stand
as
up, Fred.
well. But yeah, I heard. Not as well as you people.
Oh, really?
Right, really.
Why
They
is
just,
that?
I don't know. Maybe because they never had to worry about their freedom here, like
Yeah,
you
that's
did,
true.
you know? So I don't know. They're getting better. They are getting
Yes.
better. Yes,
For
as we
us,
walk, for us, when we walk in our streets or go to the store, a lot of people now say thank you for your service,
yes.
more so now than before.
Okay.
It's probably due to you people, because
No.
how you treat us.
No,
Yes, because for us,
the people of the Netherlands, France, it's inspiring. And I know
Yes,
through our interaction and what we've put out there, it's inspired a lot of people. And because it is inspiring the way you guys recognize and honor and celebrate these guys. It's mind-blowing.
yes, because it's for us, it's been 80 years ago.
yeah.
But for the children here, it's like it's happened yesterday. So,
Oh,
and it's her dream to meet a veteran from World War II.
Oh,
So she's
wow.
very happy. So she
What part
can
of the
ask some
Netherlands do you guys
questions.
live?
What?
What part of the Netherlands do you guys live?
Rotterdam, near Rotterdam.
Okay.
oh,
Oh,
yeah.
so if we come back to the Netherlands next year, or this year now, goodness, it's 2025. You guys will have to connect with us so she can meet
Yes.
one in real life.
Oh, that
Yeah.
would be awesome. It's her
Yes.
dream. It's really her dream. She wants to be a history teacher
Oh, very
for
cool.
World War
Good.
II. Yes. So
Good.
it will help her a lot.
Yeah, Fred was just there a couple months ago.
Yep.
Yeah, we missed that. We missed that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Had a great time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I saw that on the videos. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I
one thing
love
we
it.
talk about a lot when we do these is the fact that the difference between the way the Netherlands and France celebrate veterans and the way we do. And it does go back to that whole thing is like, we've never lost our freedom. We've never been occupied. We never had to be rescued. And so for us, in a sense, we take it for granted.
Take it for granted.
Because it is. It's like, our guys go out and fight and, they've been a part of freeing lots of other countries, but we've always remained free here.
Yes.
So we've never felt that sting. We've never felt that loss. And but that's what's just so incredible, to go over to France and Netherlands and Germany and to see the appreciation, the way people react to that liberty. And so it's inspiring. It's amazing.
Yeah, because we pass it on to the next generation.
You guys do that very well too. Like when we go to the
Yeah.
schools, I am blown away how much the kids know. And that's awesome that you're going to be a history teacher and continue that. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
She wants to know. What can you want to say it?
How did you stay in touch with your family?
How did we stay in touch with our family?
When you were in the war, yeah.
Oh, we had, what we have then, that V-mails or something.
Okay.
How long did
we
a
wrote,
piece of mail take to get to your family?
well, let's see. Now we, every couple of weeks, I guess, we would hear from our family, or they would send us gift packages, little things for us, to have cookies and stuff.
And would you write your family letters?
Oh yeah, with this.
How long would it take for them to receive that? Do you know?
I think about a week. I
Okay.
think, yeah, and it was V letters or V something. It was
V-mail. Yeah, it was called V-mail.
email.
What did the
And
V
then
stand for?
and they would check it before they sent it to your parents, so you weren't giving them any kind of information about what was going on, because they didn't want the enemies to,
Intercept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was
So
good.
everything was monitored.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What do they call that? Sent. Can't think of the word.
Huh. So were they monitoring incoming mail as well?
No, just the outgoing.
Okay.
Just outgoing. They don't want you to give any things away, locations or where you were. And if you did, they'd cross it out. They just take a eraser and they cross it out if they mentioned it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
She has one more question.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Can you describe how you felt when you came home after the war?
Well, I didn't really come home after the war. I re-enlisted and went back.
Really?
Yeah. I went back and put
Wow.
it in another year and a half. And then I came.
And what did you do in that year and a half?
In Europe,
Okay.
mostly police work.
Okay.
Keeping the peace.
Oh, yes, I know. Yes.
And I remember one town that I was in. You probably heard of it, Eichelsofen.
Eindhoven.
Yeah, we were there for a couple of days.
Yeah, we know Eindhoven.
And a church. I remember the church being there, and a bakery, and we had fun there. We were there for 3 days. That was after were liberated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were liberated in 45, this town. And we actually live in the town where they signed over the Netherlands to Germany.
Oh.
Yes, and that little school is still there. They signed it in a school and they made it into a little museum.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Good. When we come over, if we come over this year, we'll have to see that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very small. It's really small.
Oh, we love stuff like that. That's great.
Yes. Yep.
I'm sure Fred's ready to go.
Oh, yes. I'm ready to get back to Netherlands anytime.
Yeah, if we
Yeah?
go back in September,
Yeah.
you'll be 100 years old.
Wow.
100 years
We'll have
old.
a cup of coffee. We'll have a cup of coffee.
Oh, that's good. Anytime.
Just get him some.
Okay.
Loves the sweets, eh, Fred?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
We'll get you some.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, Nova and Brianda, thank you so much for joining. It's
Yes.
so cool
Yeah.
to see that, it's inspiring to see that, you guys are keeping the history alive and appreciate it still. And Nova, that's so cool that you want to be a history teacher and continue to make sure that these guys' stories will live on forever, even when they're not here. So very cool, very commendable. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is there anything else
Thank
you'd like to
you.
ask or say?
You.
No, I want to say bye to Fred. Bye.
Yes. Bye.
Stay safe.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for joining. All right. How cool is that, Fred?
Yeah. Oh, the word I was thinking of before was censorship. They
Censorship.
censored our letters.
Censored the letters. Yes, yes. I was thinking that was the word you were trying to think of, but I guess I was thinking of a different context to where it wouldn't be. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's so cool. I was thinking like a young girl like that in the Netherlands
Yeah.
who's interested in what you guys did 80 years ago and wants to make a career out of it. Like, how cool is that?
Good. Good.
That's why we do this, man. Like, I love it. I love it. And I hope that, by putting your guys' stories out there, it's going to inspire more people. And just the fact that they get to hear it and interact with you guys is
Oh, yeah.
amazing. I love it. I love it. All right. So next in the lobby, we'll give them a chance, is Tyler. I'm gonna check the chat real quick, see what's going on over there. So in about 10 seconds, we'll get Tyler in. Mike, you got any questions for him real quick?
No, I'm good.
Let's see.
Actually, Fred, do you have any of the letters that you received from your parents or that you wrote home? Do you still have any of those letters from the
No.
war?
No. I wish I did.
Yeah.
I
But
think there's one of the fellows. I have a book. One of the fellows wrote a book. I don't know if he was from my outfit, but I bought the book, and he has his book has a lot of letters that he kept from his mother and father, and it's part of the book, which was interesting.
That's cool. That's cool. Like it. I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't like to think dark or anything, but like to think that, I mean, you could write a letter to your family, they get it a week later, and just to think like what could have happened in that week.
Yeah.
Like they're reading your letter, like so much could have happened.
Oh yeah, well, that's how I found out that Jimmy Maloney was killed. My mother sent me a letter. I didn't know
So
that
she
before.
found out before you.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
Well, my mother was friends with his mother.
Yeah.
He lived with his mother and his aunt. I don't know where his father was or anything, but she found out and she wrote me a letter right away to tell me what happened to him.
Wow.
Even though we were close in combat, but you don't find those things out.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so in the live chat here, Patrick from the Philippines is active in there. Patrick, you better join this because we miss you, bud. We haven't seen you in a while. Patrick, he's a kid from the Philippines who used to join all the time. Like,
Oh yeah,
but it's like right now it's probably like 4 a.m. for him. It usually is.
4
He stays up late to watch these. I love it. All right, so we're gonna let Tyler in right now. And I have a feeling this might be one of our next Tyler. Oh, it is. So we have a next gen program for those watching of young kids who get to join on our programs.
Right.
and they make videos to submit and to join us in the Netherlands and France and Germany, all over the world. And Tyler was one of those kids who was fortunate enough to go to the Netherlands with us.
Oh, yeah?
Tyler?
Oh, good.
Hey, Fred.
Hi,
It's great to see you again.
you too.
I won't be too long. I don't want to take too much time from other people who want to ask questions. But can I go, Austin?
Yeah. Go.
For sure. So military, obviously, to be successful, it's a lot to do with good leadership. Do you have a leader from your time in the Army that taught you a lot, and what did you learn from them?
Well, actually, the only ones that I got in contact with were two sergeants. One was Sergeant Quinn. He was from Pennsylvania, and Sergeant Lukes. He was from Chicago. Two heck of a bunch of guys. Crazy, but nice. And they taught you about combat and what to look for and how to take care of yourself. And they were two heck of nice guys. They were.
That's awesome.
Yeah. My father used to send us care packages every once in a while. He sent us spam, cookies, candy, and pig's feet. Now, I'm not a pig's feet man. I mean, I'm from the city. Pig's feet, I don't know nothing about. But anyhow, he used to send them to me, and I said, "What am I going to do with these?" Sergeant Luke saw them, and he said, I like pig's feet." I said, "Here you are. Here's a present for you." So every time my father would send this thing, I give him to Sergeant Luke's because I knew he'd eat them.
I mean, like a cooked pig's foot?
Yeah, in a
I
jar.
guess I'm not familiar with this.
Yeah, that's like a dog treat these days.
Okay. So how was it like? I don't know. This is a new thing for me. Like, how was it preserved? Like, wouldn't it be rotten by the time it showed up?
No, it pickled.
Oh, it's pickled.
It's
A
pickled.
pickled
Yeah,
pig foot.
pickled pig's feet. They come in a jar.
Okay.
I don't know if you even can buy them today.
I
People
guess
still
it's
eat
probably
them.
more of a dog treat, I guess.
But I used to give them away.
And I know when we go to Germany, one of my favorite things to eat is a pork knuckle. Is that something
Oh,
similar?
that's good.
But
That's enough.
that's
That's
a pork knuckle, and it's
right.
great.
That. Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
Hey,
that's good.
But a
Fred,
pickled pig's foot.
just to add on to that question from Tyler, can you, when we were in the Netherlands, we visited the Margraten Cemetery, and you had an opportunity to visit one of the commanders of your outfit. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, you're talking about Captain Ladder?
Yep.
Captain Ladder. He was our commanding officer, and he got killed one night when we were out on patrols. We were digging in this one location. Vinny was digging a hole, and I was digging next to him. And all of a sudden, somebody tripped a flare wire, and the flare went up, and you could see all of us there digging in. And the ladder was standing up on a little hill, and Lieutenant Lindquist was with him. And of course, the Germans start throwing their stuff in, and Vinny jumped into the foxhole, and I jumped in on top of him, and the stuff was flying all over the place, all over us. And finally, the flare disappeared, and of course, they stopped because they didn't know where the hell we were then. But needless to say, we got the heck out of there and went up the road about half a mile and went into a house up there that was unoccupied. But yeah, I didn't have too much to do with Captain Latta. I think probably I only met him once. Because most of my contacts were with the sergeants and stuff. But as far as I was concerned, I know some other fellows I know from my outfit didn't particularly like him. And they say, a couple of them say it was friendly fire, but I don't believe that. But I guess he was a good guy. I think he came from Boston. But those things happen.
Now, to me, the flare seems like a pretty terrifying thing when you see that flare go up and all of a sudden everything is exposed. Was that one of like the most terrifying things that would just happen?
Well, that happens, and you better watch out because you know darn well what's going to happen right after that flare goes up. Somebody's going to be zeroing in on you.
And would that just like happen out of nowhere?
Yeah, yeah. They put wires across, and if you trip one of those, you just hit it, the flare will go up. Especially if they know you're on your way or you're going to be there, you know.
Oh.
We had them on the rifles where you could send a flare up.
Man, that'd be terrifying.
Oh, it is. Especially when the stuff starts coming in, the artillery.
Yeah. Goodness.
Well, it was such a powerful experience to be there in Margarten with you and in the Netherlands. And honestly, like what y'all said before, I honestly am a little ashamed about how the treatment that y'all deserve here in America and how a great job the people of the Netherlands, Belgium, France do. Just one more question so I can open it up to someone else. But there's this famous op-ed from 1938 talking about the young people of your day and age, how they were quote unquote lazy, didn't use proper language, couldn't do a day's hard work in their life. As you know, you all went on to be known as the greatest generation. What do you think about most of the kids these days, the next generation? And if you had one piece of advice to them, what do you think it would be?
I wish I wish they could go into the service for about a year or two and see what it is to, be with other men and make friends and be disciplined. And always remember that you're going to be the generation to protect this country.
Yeah.
It's very powerful. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. Well, Tyler, thanks for coming on, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Fred. Thank you for your service.
You're welcome. Hope to see you someday.
Yes, sir. Hopefully it's very soon.
Right.
Yeah. All right. See you, Tyler.
Right.
So for everyone watching, Tyler was part of our Next Gen program. And so if you're unfamiliar with this, what that is, before I go into this, Stanislaw, you're next. So be prepared. So by the time I get done telling this, he should be ready. So Tyler was part of our Next Gen program, which is for each program that we take veterans on to France, the Netherlands, the Battle of the Bulge we just got back from. We take young kids, ages, I think, 16 to 21. They submit a video talking about why they're interested in this history and why they want to come back and experience this with the World War II veterans. And so this is something that's open to anybody in that age range. So make sure you're on the lookout. We will be going to France again in June and other programs as well. So make sure you're following us because we make the announcement of on our YouTube, on our LinkedIn, on our Facebook, Instagram. all that, letting you know when the opportunity arises that you can go to Europe with one of these guys, which how amazing is that? We've taken dozens of young people now all over the world, and they've got to experience this. So, and how cool is it for you, Fred, to have these young kids over there with you?
Oh, they're great. They're great.
Does that make you feel good about this next generation, knowing that they're getting to experience this and they're going to be able to pass on your stories?
Yeah, it makes me feel old.
That's what makes you feel old?
Yeah.
All right, let's bring in Stanislav. And for anybody else out there who wants to join in, click on that link in the chat. Click on the Zoom link. Come on. Stanislav. I'm probably screwing. I'm not even going to try for his last name.
Was he Polish?
I
Stanislav.
Trying to remember. I think I've talked to him before.
All
All right, Stanislav, you're on, but I can't see you or hear you. Awkward silence. Awkward silence.
Here he comes.
I see something happening. All right, I can see you, but I can't hear you. Can you hear us? Still, we can see you, but can't hear you. And you just muted yourself. All right, yep. I think we're having technical difficulties because we can't hear you. Maybe unplug your headphones?
Oh.
Maybe it's a problem with your headphones. I don't know. Ah, bummer.
Maybe we
Lost. You might come back. But yeah, I'm probably gonna feel bad, but I think he's from Poland. Good guy. Good guy.
Tell him when you talk to him, tell him Yashi Mush.
All right, I'm gonna check the chat here and see what's going on. You got a lot of people from all over the world in the chat saying how much they love you, Fred, and saying tell Fred thank you for his service.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
As we always love to do, because we love you guys, and our foundation started, I mean, as kind of really focused on World War II, because we're unfortunately losing that generation pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
And there was an immediate need to make sure that your stories were told from your mouths and people got to experience it from you guys in the short amount of time we have left with you. And it's been so powerful and so cool to have kids from all over the world get to experience that in person, online, through your stories on our social media. And man, what a cool thing. Just Mike, do you ever just pinch yourself to think like, how the heck are we a part of this?
It's crazy how past 5 years the amount of lives we've touched with the veterans, and then all of the people overseas and here. I mean, we brought Fred and two other vets from New Jersey to a local school for Veterans Day, and it was kind of the same experience that they received bringing them to school in Europe, bringing them here. So it's really touching, and our reach is just growing and growing. More vets are contacting us. We're getting more students engaged. More people want to be involved, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I remember there was two veterans that we took back from my area, and just being able to, take them to the airport and just hang out with them, take them to schools was so cool. And like now, like the guys who were in my area are gone now, but what an honor to have been
Yeah.
able to do that while they were here.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to our whole our core, our ethos, taking care of the ones that took care of us. Fred, you and your boys did your job at 18, 19, 20 years old, and not only that, but won the most important conflict of modern history, and then came back here and rebuilt the country or rebuilt Europe and made sure you had families and lived productive lives. And now it's our turn to take care of take care of you guys. And that's what we're doing.
That's right. That's right. Hey, Fred, you got any family in Louisiana?
And where?
Louisiana?
Oh, that may be
I,
the
I-
lieutenant governor of Louisiana.
yeah.
Lieutenant Governor
Yeah, his name is Nungesser.
Billy Nungesser.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
lieutenant.
Billy.
You
Oh, yeah.
related to him?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I have no idea.
Is he in the queue to be queued up, or is he just in the chat?
no, it's just someone in the chat asking if
Yeah.
you're related to Billy Nungesser.
Yeah, Bubba.
Nice. Well, we don't have anybody in the waiting room here, so I guess this is going to be a short one today. But Fred, do you have anything you'd like to share with anybody or everybody? Anything you'd like to talk about? Anything that's on your mind?
No, the only thing I was thinking of before was, when they're talking about how we had to finish high school first, and then we went into the service. And I was thinking, it never dawned on me that we were going to go and fighting. It never bothered me that we had to go. It was our duty to go and do what we could. It never bothered me, like some place, oh, I ain't going in and this and that. And then some of them went up to Canada to get away from the United States, so they would have to be drafted and stuff like that. I said to myself, I never believed in that.
Yeah.
That was my duty. That was our duty at the time to do that. Whether we thought about getting killed or not, I didn't, except when I was over there. I just didn't want to get shot in my legs because I like to dance.
Yeah, you're like,
as you guys know.
yeah. Your mentality is like, if you're gonna injure me, might as well just finish me off because I got no reason to live if I can't dance.
That's right.
I love that.
Hey, Fred.
I love to dance too, Fred, and I know you do. I've seen you out there. You're dancing every opportunity you get.
Hey, Fred, you spoke before a little bit about what it was like going back to the Netherlands, and we talked about some of that program. Tell us a little bit about your reaction to going to Belgium in December when we went to the Bastogne for the anniversary of the battle.
Oh, man, that was the greatest. To me, that was the best. That was the icing on the cake. Oh, God. Bastogne, Luxembourg, Brussels. Oh, God.
I mean, if you remember, and for everyone out there listening, we departed from JFK with 4 vets, and it was an evening flight, and we landed in Brussels, and that's pretty taxing on everybody flying an overnight flight into Europe. We get off the airplane, we get brought right into a VIP section of the airport, and I like to tell people that you guys returning to Europe, especially in Belgium, you're treated more like heads of state than just a regular passenger. And it was really special to get that treatment and some comfort and a little bit of time to relax a little bit before we went directly to the NATO headquarters.
Oh, that was great.
And our service members that are serving over NATO, and just to see that building and how important that is, and that was basically formed after World War II. And wonderful lunch, and then we went directly to the Royal Residential Palace where the 4 of you had an intimate meeting with the King and Queen of Belgium. And this is all in the first 12 hours of us getting there after an overnight flight. And it was just real special for us to sit back and watch that happen, to meet the royalty of the King and Queen of Belgium. It was in their Royal Residential Palace. It doesn't happen to to everyday people from the United States, but
Hey,
they treat you guys like heads of state.
yeah.
Tell us about that.
He's saying, tell us a little bit about that, Fred, like from your experience.
Oh, that was great. We went to visit the king and queen, and we had tea and coffee with them. And then we went to NATO. Uh, then we went over to Bastogne, to the museum, saw the museum in Bastogne. Then we had a motorcade around town. And the beautiful place we stayed at the new motel, that was out of sight, that place. Man, we had breakfast every morning and lunch there, and oh God. In fact, yesterday I got a letter from the mayor of Luxembourg. She sent me a thank you letter for being over there. And I remember meeting her at the cemetery. And she sent me this beautiful letter.
Wow.
We're not gonna be able to see it too well because of the blurred, but
No, right. Yeah.
it's all good.
It's
Yeah, and
nice.
that's pretty special. That's pretty
It
wild.
is.
That's not something you get every day for sure.
That's for sure. I saw it. I saw it. What the heck is it? Then I'm looking up the talking about the Duchy of Luxembourg. I said, oh, this is important.
Yeah. Well, we got another person who just ended up in the waiting room. You got another one in you, Fred?
Yep.
All
Sure.
right. Let's bring in Caleb here. Boom. Bringing in Caleb. Caleb, what's up? Can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Oh,
Good to see
hi.
you again, man. Look out.
Hey.
I remember you joined like some of our first streams. Like you were a little kid.
Yes, sir. I think I was in like ninth grade. I ended up graduating, now valedictorian, and now I'm in college.
That's
Oh
wild.
boy,
That's
good.
cool. Well,
Yeah.
you're on here with Mr. Fred Nungesser. The floor is yours.
Yes. First off, I just want to thank you so much, Mr. Fred, for your service. And
You're
you
welcome.
guys are really, truly the greatest generation. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir. I have a few questions, but what's the best thing that people like us can do for you guys that have done such great things? Because, I just believe our veterans deserve so much.
And where are you? United States?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well,
What part of
it's
the US are you
getting.
from?
Where do you live?
North Carolina.
Oh God. All my nieces live there too. They're in Greensboro is one place, and then we got Mint Hill, which is down south. I got a couple of them there. But your question was, it's getting better. I noticed lately when I go to the store and have my outfit on and my hat and stuff, more people are now appreciating us and saying how they appreciate our being in the war, which we never got before. I mean, it was just dead. We got more from the people in Europe than we did our own here, but it is getting better.
That's good to hear.
I gotta say that, at least in my area.
Yes, sir. Thanks. Makes me happy to hear. What would you consider probably your funniest story from when you were over there? Because I know a lot of the guys that were older in my family and stuff before they passed away, they had really funny stories about what them and their war buddies would get up to.
funny stories during the war.
Yeah. You got any shenanigans?
Well, I'm thinking. It's 80 years ago. Uh, Not really. When we got to the Rhine, at the Rhine River, we I had a picture taken of us with a swastika flag. That was a something. I don't have the flag anymore, of course. But I'm trying to think. There's nothing funny about anything that I could recall.
At least not that you can say on the internet.
Well, I remember, some of the stuff in combat where we had to get uh, support from a fighter plane, and we couldn't move, so they asked this fighter plane to come in and drop a bomb. And he came down one swoop, dropped his bomb, and it was a jelly bomb. And he dropped it right in front of us. And of course, those things spread. And he had it spread so it would go towards the enemy. And it lasted about 2 minutes and we could move. But he did one hell of a job, I'll tell you.
So now what, for those who aren't familiar, what's a jelly bomb?
It's like a jelly. When it hits, it spreads.
Oh, so it's like a flammable,
Yeah,
like
right.
like you would start with start a fire with like that kind of like flammable jelly.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, they dropped them. And he dropped it right in front of us. Boy, that thing spread right down there. Did a hell of a job, I tell you. He tipped his wings and took off.
Wow.
But that
must
was
have been a
about
hell of
the
a
only
sight.
thing. Oh, yeah, it was. Believe me.
Jeez.
We should have had a camera for that.
Yeah. Imagine, man, if you guys all had cell phones like they do now, like what the heck would have been? Whew. Just photographically. I'm not even thinking of like
Yeah.
communications or anything. I'm just like, what if you all had cameras? That would
Yeah. Well, I have pictures home that I took. I had a Kodak Retina that I had. And I don't know where I got it, but I have some combat pictures, more or less.
Yeah.
And then later, after the war, I got a Leica camera. And of course, I got a lot of pictures after the war.
Yeah. Nice. Caleb, do you have another question?
Yes, sir, if that's okay. I don't know if there's
Yeah.
a bunch of people waiting to join or not.
No, we were about to end it, and then you came in. We're like, all right, let's keep going.
Yeah, because I was trying really hard to join. I had to update and everything. I was like, and it said y'all were about, I was like, no, 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 please, please.
You got it just in time.
Yes, sir. So, Mr. Fred, were you in Germany when the war ended?
Yes,
What was
I re-enlisted. I went back.
what was that like when the war, I know because the one Pacific was still going, but what was it like when the war in Europe ended for you guys that were over there?
Well, it was, what was that was it May 7th?
Yep.
June
May.
7th? May 7th, I think it was. We were in a small town, and it was the first time that we could have our lights on because everything up to the end was blackouts. You couldn't put lights on it and none of that stuff. And that was the first time we could put lights on. And I don't know the name of the town. I'd have to have my book with my pictures, then I would remember where it was. But I remember it was a bunch of us, about 8 guys there, and we were jumping up and down.
How did you guys hear about it? Did you hear about it through a radio signal?
Yeah, radio.
Okay. Now that's interesting. Like that's not something I never really thought about was the lights out.
Yeah.
Just the end of the war, just how everybody all of a sudden you could have your lights on and you didn't have to hide as much.
Right. That's right.
Like
Yep.
in a 24 hours, that just changed.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Something to think about too, Fred, while you were over there fighting, here along the Jersey Shore, there was blackout rules as well. They had because they were afraid of giving away certain positions to the German U-boats, especially being so close to New York City and the New York Harbor.
There were a couple of U-boats that came into the harbor.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh.
They didn't do any. They didn't do anything.
Yeah, along
They were close
curious,
to New York.
along like the Atlantic City boardwalk.
Yep.
Line,
Oh yeah.
Great Park, two very busy places along the Jersey Shore during World War II. That was all blacked out. So.
Well, we had the same thing when they shipped us down to Georgia for our basic training. The couldn't have any lights on the train. We had to pull all the curtains down. It had to be blackout all the way, traveling all night long.
Wow.
I had blackout then.
That's wild. Well, cool. Caleb, you got anything else?
What general did you serve under, Mr. Fred?
What general? General
Yes, sir.
Bowling.
General who?
Bowling. Bowling. B-O-L.
L-L-I-N-G.
I-N-G. General Bowling.
Is that the monument that we took you to in Belgium?
Yeah, with his plaque there.
Yep.
Yeah. In the video we're putting out later today, there's a scene where it's Fred at the monument with General Bowling.
Yeah. And then we went to that house where they had the 84th emblem on the side of the house.
Yep.
Where we stopped all the traffic.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Hollywood thing going on there. From Hollywood, taking movies. Hold it. That was fun.
It's important, Fred, because you were there for this 80th anniversary. You were there, obviously, representing yourself, but you're also representing all of your fellow soldiers of your company and the 84th Division that couldn't make the journey this year.
Right.
Those that were killed during the conflict, those that have passed in the years since returning home, and those that couldn't make the journey this year. So you had a big job still to represent all of your fellow members of the 84th, and that was really special for you to go visit the General's Monument and
oh yes. Yeah, I like that. That was nice.
For sure. Well, cool. Caleb, thanks for coming on, man.
Yes, sir. Before I go, Mr. Fred, I just want to thank you and all the other veterans so much because growing up, learning about you guys and what you did and what you sacrificed to all over there. You guys were then and always have been and still are my heroes. And I just really look up to you guys. And I just pray that each and every day that y'all know how much at home here we all appreciate you and respect you and that we all really look up to you.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for everything that y'all have done for our freedom, because today we know it isn't free and we wouldn't have it if it wasn't for guys like you. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. God bless you.
Thanks. Good seeing you.
All right. I concur. Well, thank you, Caleb.
Thanks, Caleb.
Thank
Have
you.
a good one. See you. Good kid. Good kid. Looks like we got a familiar face who just joined in. Let's see if this is who I think it is. Let's find out. Hey, it is who I thought it was.
Hello.
What's up, Zach?
Hey, what's up? Hello, Mr. Nungesser.
Hey, how you
Hey, how are
doing?
you? I'm doing
You remember
good.
Good.
this kid? You remember him, Fred?
Yes.
Nice.
Hello, Mr. Malone. Hello, Austin. How are you doing?
Uh,
So, okay, so I just have a few questions. I don't want to take up too much time.
go for it.
Um, so my first question is, how did you feel? How did it feel for you to go back and represent your unit on on this program that we
Oh,
just did?
I loved it. You talk about the Battle of the Bulge?
Yes.
Oh, it was great. It was fantastic. I think it was the best program out of the whole gang as far as I was concerned.
Nice.
Went, we went to places where I fought, and that was great.
Yeah, I remember you were just talking about when we stopped the traffic at the memorial building.
Yeah, yeah,
Disrupted a lot of commuters that day.
It was.
yeah.
Okay. Another question I have is how old were you when you went to Europe to fight? Um, to go to combat?
18 and a half.
Me too.
19, 18 and a half.
Just a kid.
Just a kid.
Zach, tell everybody how old you are.
I'm 14. My name is Zach, and I'm from Texas, from Dallas.
So Zach, just so everybody knows, he was another person from our next gen program. So
Yeah,
Zach
right.
was fortunate
Yeah.
enough to return with these guys to the 80th anniversary of the Battle of the Bulge this last December.
Mm.
So for those
That
people
was
who watch the videos of us doing this contest, because we do the contest where people submit videos and all that, just so you know, like we've seen 3 people that have gone with us. It's real. I think some people see the videos like, I'm not going to submit a video. That's not real. Nobody actually gets to go. We've taken dozens. So, and the field is small. So there's a pretty good chance that you could get picked.
Hmm.
Just a sidetrack. Go ahead, Seth.
Yeah.
Another question I have is what was the food situation like during combat?
The food situation.
Yes, sir.
Well, we had sea rations, the little box there, where you got a couple of cigarettes and a can and cookies. And it depends because most of the time the cooks couldn't get to you. Uh, so we had that, and we also had what they call a D bar. A D bar is a square hunk of chocolate. It's about I don't know, 5 inches long, couple inches thick, and you had to eat that bar and drink a lot of water, and that would give you energy. That was a substitute for a meal. It
Interesting.
was it was terrible.
Oh, jeez.
Chocolate was terrible. But unfortunately, one day we were going towards the Rhine River, and there was a knocked out small German tank under a bridge. And we went past it. I stopped, and it was open. So I went in to look around. And the guys are saying, "You're crazy going in there. I'll be booby trapped." I don't care. So I went in, I looked around, and I found a little package in there. So I took it out with me. And lo and behold, it was what the Germans consider their D bar. It was a round disc of chocolate. It was coffee flavored, and I started to eat it. And again, the boys said, "You're crazy. That's I'd be poisoned." I said, "I don't care. I'm hungry." And to tell you the truth, they had a better D bar than we did.
That ain't right.
It was delicious. I was ready to join the German army. Just get that D-bar.
Oh man. There's
But
your
I did.
story.
I did crazy things like that. You know.
That's good. That's great. I love it.
What was your favorite sea ration that like you preferred?
Well, I don't know. If we had any sea rations. See what the tankers had. They had D rations. The tanks. They were the best. They once in a while would drop us off one of their packages if they knew we didn't have anything to eat, and they had the best. They had canned hams in there and all kinds of goodies. Ours were just ordinary, like bacon and eggs, powdered drinks, couple of cigarettes, chewing gum. That's about it.
Man.
It wasn't the best in the world. And other times we may get cans of beans or like uh, chopped meat or something, and you had to put them in a big barrel full of water, heated water that we lit, and you leave them in there for a little bit to heat them up. Otherwise, you'd be eating cold stuff. One day I was lighting that stupid thing, and I didn't hear it go poof. So I said, "Oh, what's the matter with this thing?" So I went over it had a little stack there. I went over to look through the stack to see if it was lit, and the thing, as I looked, it blew up. It took my eyelashes off, my eyebrows. Needless to say, I never did that again.
Well,
That's great.
and then I think the last question I have is you said after the war you re-enlisted.
I re-enlisted.
What made you want to re-enlist?
Well,
yeah.
first of all, at the end of the war, they had what they called, in order to get home, you had to accrue so many points. You had so many points for being overseas, so many points for being in service, and the more points you had, the closer you were to getting home. So a bunch of us got together in Karlsruhe, Germany, and we decided by figuring the stuff, we didn't have enough points to get home for Christmas of 45. So the Army, in its intelligence, decided to offer re-enlistments for a year and a half, and they would get you home by Christmas of 45. Plus the fact that they would upgrade your rank. So, I don't know, I guess about 6 or 10 of us decided to sign up. So we signed up in Karlsruhe, Germany. So I have 2 discharges. I have one from Karlsruhe, Germany, and I have one from the United States. And they upgraded me to a buck sergeant. And we did get home for Christmas of 45. And we had to report back to camp in Maryland. We had to report back there for our overseas shots and whatever else, our papers and stuff. And we were the first re-enlistees, so they didn't know what to do with us. So we had our own service records. And we were to report to the 3rd Division because they were one of the few that was still in Germany. They didn't come home yet. So we're on our way, and we happened to stop in Paris. That was a big mistake. We had such a good time in Paris and went through a lot of money that we drew on next month's pay. So, so one of the 5 guys had an idea of joining what they call the Paris Detention Barracks, which is the prison in Paris for GIs and stuff. So we went and got interviewed and everything, and I decided, nah, I don't think I want this. And I'm glad I did, because about 2 weeks after we decided not to go there, somebody got stabbed in the place. So I think one guy did stay. So anyhow, we got out of Paris and took our service records with us, and nobody knew what to do with us. So finally, eventually, we did wind up with the 3rd Division headquarters. And it was, at that time, it was 4 of us left. And they decided to put us into the MPs. And they were going to take all of us but one fella. And they didn't want him. And they wanted us because we had combat experience. And I told the sergeant besides, look, we're a bunch. We stay together. If he doesn't go, we don't go. I don't know what persuaded me to tell him that, but he let the other guy come with us. So we were 4 of us. We wound up in the MPs. That was a trip too.
Nice.
Never being an MP, you know. So they taught us a lot. Self combat and how to ride motorcycles and stuff. But that's another story. I could tell you. That's another one of my stories.
Nice.
I got a lot of them.
I know you do.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Well, Zach, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to see you, Zach.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good to see you,
Okay,
Austin.
Zach.
Mr.
Hey,
Malone. Bye,
Zach.
Mr. Nungesser. Thank you.
I will see you again, I hope.
Cool.
See you soon.
Bye, Zach.
Bye.
Yeah, and Zach is our youngest next gen
Mm.
they've ever taken. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Cool. Well, Fred, this was great.
I hope so.
Did you enjoy yourself?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Getting to talk to kids from all over the world. Well,
yeah.
that seems like a good spot to end it there. And hopefully we'll see you again soon.
I hope so.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we got to hang out a lot last year. We can't let that stop.
No.
Oh, no.
Nope.
Well, cool. Well, Mike, thanks for being here. Fred, thanks for being here. And
Okay.
hopefully
Thanks, guys.
hopefully we'll get to do this again soon.
Looking forward to seeing that Battle of the Bulge
Oh
program.
yeah, everybody, be
Oh
looking
yeah.
out later on today. We posted
Oh
the
yeah.
battle video with Fred's heroic return to the battlefield.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Great
Cool.
seeing you,
Okay.
Boston.